What if everything you thought you knew about the Garden of Eden was wrong? What if the serpent was never the true enemy, but a messenger of something far deeper? A truth humanity was never meant to see. The story of Eden is not just about sin, it's about awakening, about a choice that changed the fabric of existence. Tonight, we uncover the enigma of the serpent, the story that was hidden behind thousands of years of interpretation. Who was the serpent? A demon, an angel, or perhaps a reflection of something divine within us all? In the beginning there was only harmony, the Garden of Eden, a place untouched by death, where man and God walked side by side in eternal peace. But in the stillness of paradise, something stirred. A voice, subtle, intelligent, and unsettling, broke the silence of perfection. It wasn't just a creature slithering among the branches. It was a mind, a presence, a question, and that question changed everything. Did God really say? That single whisper cracked open the fragile shell of innocence, and from that moment, humanity began its fall, or perhaps its awakening. The serpent's words were not just temptation, they were revelation. And for centuries, humanity has wrestled with the same mystery. Was the serpent evil, or the spark that ignited human consciousness? Who was the serpent, really? The Bible never calls it Satan, not in Genesis, that came later. In the ancient Hebrew text, the serpent is described as aroum, meaning cunning, intelligent, or wise. The same word used to describe wisdom itself. So, what if the serpent wasn't a deceiver, but a teacher? What if the true fall of humanity wasn't in eating the fruit, but in misunderstanding its meaning? For centuries, Christian tradition has identified the serpent as Satan, the adversary of God. Revelation 12:9 calls him that ancient serpent, called the devil and Satan, who leads the whole world astray. Through this lens, Eden becomes the birthplace of rebellion, where the enemy plants the seed of doubt in the heart of creation. But even here, something feels incomplete. If God is all-powerful, how could the serpent enter Eden? Was it allowed, perhaps even sent, for a divine purpose beyond human comprehension? Long before Christianity, the serpent was a symbol of wisdom and transformation. In Egypt, in Mesopotamia, and in ancient Canaan, serpents represented life, healing, and enlightenment. The serpent in Eden spoke not of death, but of awakening. Your eyes will be opened, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil. And perhaps in that moment, humanity didn't fall from grace. It stepped into awareness. The fruit was forbidden, yes. But what if the prohibition itself was part of the divine design? To others, the serpent represents the test of faith, a divine trial. Would humanity trust the Creator's voice or their own desire? This is where the story turns inward. The serpent isn't just an external being, it is a mirror to the human soul. Every time we face temptation, pride, or curiosity, we hear that same whisper, "Did God really say?" The serpent becomes the reflection of our own divided will, the eternal struggle between trust and rebellion. Some scholars believe the serpent could have been more than just a creature, perhaps a celestial being, even an angel. Before the curse, it spoke with intelligence and reason, suggesting it was not of earthly origin. When God says, "You will crawl on your belly and eat dust," it implies that once it stood upright, a being of higher form. Could this mean that the serpent was once among the divine, a messenger that fell not from evil but from enlightenment misused? The flood myths, the tree of life, and the wise serpent appear across the world. In Sumer, in Egypt, in the Vedas. In all of them, the serpent is not just evil. It is sacred. It guards wisdom. It tempts mortals to rise beyond their limits. The serpent in Eden, then, might be part of a larger universal story, humanity's eternal hunger for divine knowledge. Psychologically, the serpent represents the shadow, the hidden part of ourselves we fear to confront. It's the voice of forbidden desire, the curiosity to know beyond what we are told. When Eve listened to it, she did what every human must eventually do. She questioned. That act of questioning the divine was both her downfall and her liberation. For through the serpent's whisper, humanity became aware of choice. But make no mistake, the serpent's path led to pain. Awareness came with consequence. In gaining knowledge, humanity lost innocence. Eden was sealed, and paradise became memory. Yet even this exile was not punishment, it was preparation. The fall was not the end, but the beginning of a greater journey toward redemption. In the book of Numbers, Moses raises a bronze serpent to heal the people. In John 3:14, Jesus compares himself to that same serpent, lifted up to bring salvation. The symbol of sin became the symbol of grace. The serpent, once cursed, becomes a reflection of transformation. Death turned into life, deception turned into deliverance. So what is the enigma of the serpent in Eden? Perhaps it was never about good versus evil, but about consciousness versus ignorance. The serpent's whisper was the spark that ignited humanity's divine curiosity, the very trait that makes us seek God even today. The serpent's question, "Did God really say?" was not meant to destroy faith, but to refine it. If this story stirred something in you, if it made you question, wonder, or feel that spark of mystery within, then share your thoughts in the comments below. Do you believe the serpent was evil or divine? Your perspective might unlock another layer of this ancient riddle. And if you want to uncover more hidden truths buried in the pages of Scripture, subscribe and walk with us through the mysteries of the divine. In the end, Eden was never lost. It simply moved from a garden of perfection to the garden of the human heart. And perhaps, just perhaps, the serpent still whispers there, not to lead us astray, but to remind us that the path to God always begins with a question.